You're watching the only program with weekly fishing reports and real-time outdoor news from the Southeast region. This is Fox Sports Outdoors.
Hey gang, welcome to Reelfoot Lake. I picked, as always, a beautiful day to come here. It's raining. It's considerably cooler than it has been, but that's what happens every time I take a camera fishing with me. Let me tell you where we're at today. We're in Northwest Tennessee. We're in a very unique area of the country. Reelfoot Lake is about 15,000 acres that was formed by a series of earthquakes that were between December of 1811 and February of 1812. The lake is primarily known for crappie, as you can see by our big statue here in the background, but one of the little known secrets about Reelfoot is it has spectacular bass fishing, and that's what we're going to do today. We're going to chase largemouth bass, and I'm excited to show you what this lake has to offer. While we're at it, we're also going to get you your local fishing reports from your local insider reporter, and I'm going to get this boat launched. We're going to ease around here to the ramp, and while I do, we're going to send you back to the FSN studio for your weekend planner.
Indications are that Sunday will be the preferred day to fish over the weekend, with the Salooner tables predicting good game fish activity beginning at 11:08 a.m. Conditions for Saturday are listed as fair. Expect the sun to rise at 7:35 and set at 6:48, and night skies will have a moon that is 84% visible. We'll be right back to check all of the current fishing reports from throughout the area. And I'll return with 2017 Bassmaster Angler of the Year Brandon Polinick to answer this week's Ask the Pro question.
Hey guys, we are idling out this morning, and it is a soggy, wet day here on Reelfoot Lake in Northwest Tennessee. I'm with my buddy Billy DeHaven, buddy of mine. He lives up in Indianapolis, Indiana. We won't hold that against him. He's down in God's country right now.
Yes, sir.
But he fishes out here a lot, and we've got a mutual friend that's probably one of the best there's ever been on this lake. So we're going to take the information he's given Billy and the information he's given me, and we're going to go out here and apply it today. What do you expect us to be doing today, Billy?
Today we're going to run a lot of the ditches, a lot of the channels running up through here, and there's a lot of, we're looking for pads today, and we're looking for a certain kind of pad. We're going to look for the flat pads today, and you can see all around us here, there's pads everywhere.
I was going to say, we're not going to have a hard time finding them.
No, we're going to be surrounded by them, but if you look into different pads here, you'll see flat pads on the water there, look like a pancake kind of laying out on the water.
Right.
And then you got your ones that bow up and look more like a flower, you know, and we're looking for those flat pads today.
Well, guys and gals, we're going to go out here and we're going to throw frogs. We're probably going to throw spinner baits, and to be real honest with you, based on everything that I've ever done filming one of these shows, we're going to end up throwing a bunch of stuff, whatever it takes to get the show shot. The weather's supposed to clear off here in a little bit. Might get to take this rain suit off, but if not, we're going to have a good time anyway. Let's go see what we can find.
Sounds good, bud.
All right.
Fox Sports Outdoors is brought to you by Motor Guide's new wireless and easy-to-use XI3. XI batteries powering the world forward. Waypoint Marine, the Gulf Coast's leading saltwater boating specialist. And Strike King, designed by the pros, fished by you.
Got it. There's one.
Get it.
I got it.
Good fish, good fish.
Well, here's the deal. I've been throwing old popping perch around, and just came to a spot, and it's one of them things, you know, where something in your head goes, ding! I've seen that before, and I just reached down and flipped over a piece of plastic over there, and old big and ate it. That's a good fish. I mean, it's 3-pound fish probably. And you know, the thing about Reelfoot, it's very well known for crappie fishing. I've been coming down here for years and years, staying over at Blue Bank Resort, and crappie fishing and waterfowl hunting, and that's what the lake's known for. I got some duck seed in my mouth. But one of the little known things about Reelfoot is how good the largemouth bass fishing is. They don't get a ton of pressure. The lake is just a shallow fisherman's dream. It's just all lily pads and reeds and just tons of different types of aquatic vegetation, and it's just a paradise for these fish like this. And this size range, the 3 to 5 pound fish here is very, very predominant. Every time I've ever bass fished here, this is just a very average fish here. And anywhere you go, that's a good one. So if you're looking for an alternate place to go bass fishing, and you might want to go somewhere where you could do a combo trip and crappie fishing, don't forget how good the catfishing is here as well. The bluegill fishing is off the charts. It's a really neat place, a really diverse ecosystem, and if you look around, and I'm sure you'll see some of the scenery today, it's just full of hiding spots and little ambush areas for bass like this. And between that frog and just, you know, flipping a jig and plastic around, I expect to show you several more of these before the day's over.
This portion of the show is brought to you by the state of Mississippi, where fishing fun is year-round and where the Mississippi Gulf Coast offers some of the best inshore angling and offshore adventures anywhere in the world. So start your next fishing adventure in the true South, Mississippi. I was talking to Captain Tim Cutting over in St. Simon's Island in southeast Georgia, and Tim says that the flounder really showed up. He's picking up some nice flounder. These are 1 to 4 pound fish. He thinks that they'll get bigger as we get in more into the fall. He's using gulp baits and working shell bars and creek mouths and some docks and rubble when he can find it. Captain Greg Hilder says that the big redfish have really turned on along the shoals and the sounds, the mouths of sounds along the southeast Georgia coast. He says these are big bulls fishing pogies and cut mullet for these big redfish. Some fish are going to 35 or 40 pounds. I was also talking to Captain Jack McGowan up off Savannah. He says the fishing there has been very good along the beaches for whiting and Spanish mackerel and sharks. In Mississippi, the flounder have arrived. You got to work for them a little bit, but if you can find long stretches of grass banks along the bays and sounds and casting, making long distance casts, fishing them slow with a gulp, catching a lot of nice flounder that way. These fish are going up to 3 pounds. In Alabama, Captain Patrick Garmison says that plenty of redfish are around those mid-Mobile Bay oil and gas rigs, fishing live baits and shrimp and jigs. Well, that's it for the Coastal South. Get out on the water and take a youngster with you when you go.
Got him. Good fish.
I'll take that. So, let me tell you a little bit about how my day's going. As you can see, I have a rain suit on. As you can see, you may not can see, let me just tell you, I'm cold. It's the first time I've said that since probably March. We have had a major temperature drop. This is the first time this year, the first time that, you know, in the back end of 2018 where we've had a legitimate cold front. My buddy Billy Blakely knows this lake as good as anybody that ever has. He's the best guide on the lake, and he got to tell me about all these fish he's catching on a KVD popping perch. So I thought, man, I'll sneak down here and shoot me a frog show, because who doesn't like to see them blow up on a frog? Well, let me tell you something. We sat in the truck at the boat ramp this morning for, I don't know, 2 hours in a torrential flood, and finally decided we were never going to catch one in the truck. So we dumped the boat in the water. If y'all could see my poor camera guy right now, he looks like Mary Poppins. He's got an umbrella this big. My main man up here is soaking wet. Woo. I have had to change tactics, and that's what I want to talk to you about for a minute. Go in with a game plan. That's awesome. That's great. But just always remember, they're fish. They don't read the same magazines we do and watch the same fishing shows. They don't know that they're supposed to be eating a frog today, apparently. Be willing to change. Be willing to mix it up. I mean, I caught that fish on a jig and a trailer, and that's the thing. They're not coming up and eating that frog today, so I'm having to go to them. And I pitched that thing in there, and I picked up on it and literally just didn't feel my jig anymore. That's all there was to it. So my advice to you, go and approach a lake, a body of water the way that you want to fish, but always be willing to let the fish have the final say, because they're what really counts. We throw him in the box, I'm going to get re-rigged, and I'm going to freeze for a little while longer till I get to swing on another one. Got one?
There he is.
Flip him up in here.
Good fish.
Look, there's another refuge sign. We're right on the edge of the refuge right here.
There he is.
Got one?
There he is.
Flip him up in here.
Good fish.
What's that one on?
Good fish, jig baby, jig fish.
They'll hack attack fluoro flipping jig.
Got her done, didn't
Yeah,
it?
that sucker, when you get them too, you're pinned. Did you get him? It's a nice fish. It's about 2.5, 2.25.
Beautiful fish.
If you look around here at our scenery, we're in amongst a bunch of cypress trees and big cypress knees, and this stuff floating on the water, depending on where you're at.
All over your hands.
Yeah, it's all over your hands, all over the fish.
Fish is full of it.
But this stuff is kind of a neat deal. We were just talking about how you can kind of look around, like literally, I've not turned the depth finder on all day today, and you can kind of look at your surroundings to tell what the depth is, and what I mean by that is there's these big flat pads, and we'll point some of these out to you, and they call them flat tops here, and they usually grow out a little bit deeper. The other pads are smaller pads, and they stick up out of the water, and that kind of designate that the water is a little bit shallower. And this stuff floating on the water that I was talking about a second ago, I call it duck seed. I don't know what it's really called. I learned that years ago fishing down in Louisiana. That's what the locals called it. And where it is, it shows you where the wind has been blowing, because the wind always blows it around. And you can kind of key on that and key on the edges of it. And these fish just get right up under it like it's not even there. But he just picked up.
Right up off that tree. Yeah, right up off the bottom of that tree, and he smoked it.
And I don't care who you are or where you're at, that's a lot of fun.
Doesn't get much better than this.
Chuck that one back and let's go get us another one.
Sounds good. Thank you, bud.
Yeah, let her go.
Awesome. All fired up.
Good job, my man.
Fish.
Hey folks, it's time for your Carolinas Report. This week brought to you by the Crazy Sister Marina, located on the Marshwalk in Merle's Inlet. We're the leader in water sports, and we have been for years. Anything you want to do on the water, we can take care of that. Come down, it's fall, it's the best time to be down here. Inshore, nearshore, offshore, we can do all you want to do on our boats here. We got great captains and great fishing, so book your trip. Go to crazysister.com for more information to book your trip for the fall. Let's talk about the saltwater side of things, and I tell you what, we're starting to see some of these floodwaters recede. We're starting to see some of the water starting to clean up, but it's fall and it's that time. We're seeing bull reds from North Carolina to Pamlico Sound, all the way down to Charleston and Beaufort area, along the jetties and back into estuaries. It's a great time. I got out myself, caught some great fish, including this real big one here that we're going to share with you, but make sure you're out there with some heavy tackle. Limit the fights on these big fish. You can save their lives, you can keep them a healthy population, and you're going to release these fish and get them back out. Get them in the water, get them out of the water, take your picture with them, make sure they swim off. These are the breeders that give us our fish for the future. Let's talk about the offshore side of things, and I tell you, the wahoo bite and blackfin tuna bite over the next couple weeks, with all these cold fronts we're getting now, are going to really fire off. Find those days where you can get some calmer seas, you can get out, whether you're in North Carolina, South Carolina, get offshore, find a break, find where the bait's holding. You can find some big wahoo this time of the year. It's a great time to get out. And remember, those blackfin tuna are close to. Cedar plugs are a great bait to get out, or some boon feathers, and find those blackfin tuna mixed in with those wahoo as well. This has been your Carolinas Report, and it's brought to you by the Crazy Sister Marina. Remember, fish smarter, not harder, and keep your chaos organized.
If you do decide to come to Reelfoot Lake, which I do recommend, one of the things I'm going to tell you is, when you show up in a glass boat like this, you're going to stand out a little bit. I don't know, I think in my lifetime I've seen one other fiberglass boat on the lake. This is the home to the aluminum boat, and when you're in a glass boat out here, I don't know if you can tell, but I'm going about 6.3 miles an hour, and this is wide open top speed. Not a place for speed demons.
Fox Sports Outdoors is brought to you by Nitro Performance Fishing Boats. Champions aren't born, they're made. Mercury Outboards, go boldly. Gulf Shores, and Orange Beach, Alabama. Plan your fishing vacation and catch the details at orangebeach.com/fishing. And Lowrance and the new Hook 2, the world's easiest fish finder.
This is the kind of fish you come to Reelfoot Lake for. Fishing the edge of these flat top pads. Oh, don't get off.
Good fish, good fish.
Oh, he ain't getting off.
Good fish.
I said don't get off. You can't. Dude, that's the thing about that popping perch. When they eat it, you got to pry it out. He's got a mouthful of salad.
Nice fish.
Little salad to go with your fish. That is a pretty fish right there.
Nice work.
This is the kind of fish you come to Reelfoot Lake for. Fishing the edge of these flat top pads on this little edge of this channel with that popping perch, and they're not real aggressive on a topwater bait today, but I knew if I just stayed with it, you know, was relentless with it, I'd get one to blow up meat it, and that's a good one. That's the kind you come to Reelfoot for. Let me tell you what else you come to Reelfoot for. I've been coming down here for about 15 years or so, and I always look forward to coming to Reelfoot for one thing, if nothing else. If the fishing's bad and the hunting's bad, which is rare, I know that I'm gonna have a great time at Blue Bank Resort. It's family owned and operated for over 100 years. It's an incredible place. They have accommodations for over 100 people. They have a rental boat fleet. They have an incredible restaurant that's open 7 nights a week, and I guarantee you, you won't be disappointed with your meal. And they have a guide, Billy Blakely, best guide on the lake. You will have the adventure of a lifetime, and it's not just all about hunting and fishing. It's a great family destination. My wife and kids love to come up here with me. So guys, if you want to have a great time, bring your family, go enjoy the great outdoors, check out bluebankresort.com. Hey guys, got a reprieve from the rain for a minute, and while I do, I'm going to give you your Tennessee, Mississippi, and Alabama fishing report. This week's report is brought to you by Blue Bank Resort, just the prime place to be on Reelfoot Lake. Check them out at bluebankresort.com. I want to say it, I probably shouldn't, but I feel like we've turned the corner. I think we're in fall, and I love it. It's a little bit cooler, it's a lot cooler than it has been, and that's going to make the fishing hotter than it has been. Here's where I would go right now in Mississippi. If I wanted to go bass fishing, I'm going to Ross Barnett. I'm going to throw topwaters, buzz baits, toad style baits around shallow cover, lily pads, wood, anything that's shallow that the fish will be chasing bait up around. If I'm crappie fishing, right now, going to SouthEAST, no question. I've got a great report from there this week. They're starting to bite again. They're getting a little more active. In the state of Tennessee, I'm going to throw a curveball at you. I'm probably going to go to Percy Priest. Guys are still catching them at night, but the stripers are starting to bite. The bass are biting, both largemouth and smallmouth, and the topwater bite will get just unreal as fall comes on. In Alabama, I want to talk to you about Smith Lake for just a minute. Smith Lake, I would love to say Guntersville. That's really where I want to go, but we've had a lot of rain come through the Tennessee River recently, and Guntersville's just kind of jacked up. So right now, it's all about Smith Lake. Guys, that's what's happening in Tennessee, Alabama, Mississippi. We'd love to see you here. God bless.
There he was.
There he is. Dang, dude. I promise you, I won't ever mess around and bite one. Good Lord, you turned him 2 flips.
Well, he ate it up. Ate it up.
Oh, you snuck the old pad perch in on me.
Yeah, buddy.
There's
Beautiful.
There's your bass.
Thank you, brother.
That was on the Hack Attack pad perch.
Yeah, absolutely. Fantastic lure for this kind of water. You know, we got a lot of thick cover. We got pads and stems coming up and a lot of heavy duckweed on top of the water, and it just glides right through it. There's no hang up to it. It just fights its way right through there. And
it's got a pointed nose as opposed to the popping perch that has the open mouth. Yeah, this was all new. We came out with this at ICAST this year, and it's a Greg Hackney deal made for fishing heavy cover. I want to talk to you a minute about heavy cover. You can't, here, we'll let that dude go on. you can't talk Reelfoot without talking heavy cover, and one of the things I want to tell you about is how unique this body of water is. I touched on it a little bit when we opened the show, but Reelfoot is in northwest Tennessee. I believe the majority of it's in Lake County, but don't hold me to that. It's a very unique place. In this part of the world, there's no territory quite like it. The cypress trees are kind of what it's known for. It's also widely known as a migratory stop and a home nesting area for eagles. I believe golden eagles and bald eagles. So if you want to take a cool trip to a place that there's nowhere quite like, Reelfoot's your place.
You can always watch our latest episode on the front page of our website at foxsportsoutdoors.com. Catch up on past episodes by clicking the archive button and learn about fishing techniques and new gear at our how-to page. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter for new fishing videos every day. Simply search for Fox Sports Outdoors and click the like button on Facebook and follow button on Twitter. And watch a new episode every week on any device by downloading the free Waypoint TV app on your phone, tablet, computer, or smart TV. Fox Sports Outdoors is brought to you by Lew's. Feel the difference. Gene LaRue and Bobby Garland. We know bass and crappie from heads to tails. And by Glacier Glove. Stay outdoors longer with our gloves, hats, and shades.
Welcome back, everyone. It's time for the Ask the Pro question. This week, Robert asks, what is your favorite way to figure out a new lake? For the answer, we found 2017 Bassmaster Angler of the Year, Brandon Polinick.
Anytime that I get to a new body of water and I need to pick up a bait and just cover a bunch of water, I'm usually going to pick up a Rapala Shadow Wrap Deep, and that's going to allow me to cover different water depths and adjust the colors to different conditions to allow me to find those fish quickly.
Thanks, Brandon. If you have a question for one of the pros, visit our website, follow the Ask the Pro link, and send it in. Now let's see who wins this week's Big Catch of the Week.
Hey guys, it's time for this week's Big Catch of the Week contest. This week's winner is Bill Rushton of Beaufort, North Carolina, showing off a giant 40-pound redfish he caught out of the Neuse River in North Carolina. To enter the contest, go to foxsportsoutdoors.com, click on the Big Catch of the Week box on the right side of the homepage, and follow the instructions to send in your big fish photo. You could have your big fish shown here on our show. Here's the gear you need to do what we did today on Reelfoot Lake. We started off today trying our best to catch them on a hollow body frog. That was what I was told was happening. I did have to catch a couple on a jig, which is never a bad thing, but I will tell you the game changer for the day, what we ended up catching our three best fish on were the KBD Poppin' Perch from Strike King and the all-new Hack Attack Pad Perch from Strike King. The Poppin' Perch features a cupped mouth, spit, sputters, makes tons of noise, and has an incredible hook. The all-new Pad Perch, Hack Attack Pad Perch, has a more pointed nose. It's made to come through heavy cover better, but it still features that awesome hook. Check these out at StrikeKing.com. You know, one of the things I want to talk to you about today that is just so important in life is pouring into the people around you. You know, I feel like God's put people in our lives that we have an opportunity to share with. Maybe it's somebody you know that you just know needs a word of encouragement. Maybe it's a friend you know or someone you've just gotten to know, an acquaintance perhaps at this point, that you have some knowledge that they would love to have. You know, maybe it's you take somebody fishing and show them how to be good at something. Maybe it's in your work. Maybe it's sports. Maybe it's in your home. Just, I'm telling you, you've got gifts that you've been gifted. The best thing you can do with a gift is give it away. That's the stuff that matters. Guys, me and my buddy Billy ended up putting together a good 5 bass limit here on Reelfoot Lake today. We had a lot of fun doing it, and I hope that you feel like you could come here and enjoy this incredible natural resource yourself. Barry will be back next week, and until then, I'm Crispin Pally. God bless.